Hi guys, happy Monday. Before we start in today's lesson, I just wanted to go over some quick announcements on the front of your homework packet. So you see here in yellow that Miss Singari's office hours are canceled on Thursday, so she is holding an extra session tomorrow morning before school. Another announcement to be on the lookout for is we had a quiz today. We are also going to have an exit ticket graded assessment on Thursday. All right, and then be sure there's lots of things, exciting things going on around Mesa this week, so be sure to look out for signs around the school for upcoming activities. All right, before we talk about graphing linear functions tomorrow, we want to make sure everyone gets a graphing recap. So when we talk about coordinate pairs, we're talking about x comma y. Think of what in the alphabet x comes first. So that means in my coordinate pair, x is always the first number. Okay, so let's take a look at our axis. So we have our y-axis here, and that goes up and down. And then we have our x-axis, and that goes left to right. All right, something to note that if I'm looking at my x-axis first, so let me highlight this as my x-axis. Numbers that are on the left side on my x-axis are negative, and on my right side are positive. Now the same thing goes for my y-axis. Except now I'm looking at numbers up and down. So numbers that are down are my negative numbers and up are my positive. Okay? Now this should be review for us. So I'm just making sure that we're all on the same page before we start. One last thing to note, that this point in the middle is not labeled. That is always 0, 0. That is called our origin. We spoke about that a little in class. All right. So we want to talk about the following coordinate for 0. So again, we always want our x to be first, and then our y. So when I'm talking about my x values, those are all my first numbers. So I'm just going to go through and highlight all of my x's. And then I'm going to do the same thing for my y's. So that way we're nice and color coordinated. All right, let me get a different color now. Let's use purple. Okay, so 4 is on my x, so I find 4 on my x, that's here, and 0 on my y, so it stays. So that coordinate is E. All right, my blue is -5, so that's my x, so I look here. My green is also -5, so I look here, and then I see where do they meet? Where do they come together? They come together at coordinate M. All right, same thing. I look at my blue for my x, for my 8. That's here. And then it's -1 for my green or my y. And where do those two come together? They come together at coordinate S. All right, and to keep it going. So -4, comma, -8. So x comes first. So I find my x -4, my y -8, and I see where they come together. And I see that they come together at coordinate y. Okay, good so far. I'm just going to erase these so it's out of our way. All right. Now looking on to the next thing. Let me get a different color. All right, so write each ordered pair for the given point. So I'm going to find these points. So we're looking for B. So I find B, it's right here. So first, again, I look up at my x because I'm looking at blue first. So that's -1, comma. Now I look at my green or my y, that's -3. Make sure to put parentheses around it. All right, next thing, K. Again, I look at blue first because that's my X first. And then I look at my green, that's -7. All right, keeping it going. I have J, again, blue first. So I have 5 for my X. Now green, I have 5 for green. Last one is Z, blue first. I have 2 and -6. All right. Last thing, we are going to plot some points. All right, so when I plot, I need to do my blue first, then my green. So I have -7 on blue, -3 on green, and I'm going to see where do those come together. They come together here, so I'm going to put a point, and what are we calling this point? We're calling it point N. All right, next one is 2 on my blue, 7 on my green, and I need to follow it up for where they come together, and we're going to call that point A. This purple is a little hard to see, so I'm going to change it. All right, -6 is here. And 2 is here, so I'm gonna, where do they come together? They come together here. That's going to be point R. And last is 0. So I start here, and then I find -7 on the green, and they come together right on the axis. That is O. All right, as always, if you have any questions, type them in at the end of the video.